All right, everyone, welcome back to the Coyote Radio Show and Podcast. I've got some good friends here with me today. Volk is with us.
Hello, howdy.
Howdy, everybody.
Second time being on the show. I don't know when that was. What is that? That was a while back. That was definitely before the name change. It used to be called Spin That Shit, but I was getting flagged everywhere. The algorithms wouldn't play or show my stuff. It was kind of underground. So I changed it.
Yeah. Darn you, Zuckerberg. I think it might have been COVID because I remember doing it outside, and I think y'all were outside too. So I think it's been sort of COVID-y times.
Yeah. So it's definitely been a minute, and you guys really haven't taken the foot off the gas. Even after that, you guys, I've been following you online and making music, playing shows, running around the country, and just looks like a blast, really.
Oh yeah, super fun. Like even because this is actually kind of supposed to be a little bit of a downtime for us here in the fall, but it still feels like we got the foot on the accelerator.
Yeah, when you work for yourself, it seems like it never ends. You go home and you're still like thinking about things you should be doing or organizing or planning or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
We stay busy for sure.
Yeah. So anyone listening, if you want to backtrack, that kind of shares the humble beginnings of how you guys got together and formed, where you're from and how the band started. So that's all still relevant if people want to backtrack and check out that episode. But for this one, I want to hear about the new tunes that have been coming out. It's a totally kind of different sound. I don't think people should like pit you guys in a box as far as genre. I mean, you can do all different sorts of things, and especially in a live performance setting, you'll switch it up pretty quick on them.
Oh yeah. We definitely wear like our influences on our sleeves. So like we love, obviously country and cowpunk. Where if people are listening to the Cashville album or those things, they can hear our love and reverence for those. My obsession with Dwight Yoakam is still there. But you go on tour with bands like Electric Six and Super Suckers, and you get that kind of that need for a bit more grit, and maybe some synthesizers. And I think those two bands, among others, and just stuff that we're listening to now, has really influenced our direction. And we still think it's there. Like I was just thinking as we were playing and we were just rehearsing, one of the later songs that just came out, Stand the Test, Eleot wrote it as a folk song.
Well,
it really started as like,
I didn't necessarily write it like as a intended as a folk song. I just wrote it on my acoustic guitar. Like it started off acoustic.
Yeah,
I think is what you mean.
Yeah, just very like stripped down, which is kind of like where Volk always starts. But then, I kind of started. I think I was listening to like some Fleetwood Mac or something. I was like, man, I feel like I could fit in some sort of like Lindsey Buckingham riff into this, and that kind of took off. And then just again, like with this newest song, Pop Song, I wrote that riff in COVID, and as me as like, this is a pop song. This is like
right,
balls to the wall, Kiss, AC/DC, no holds barred, just like let's go for it. And then Eleot wrote a banger melody for it and lyrics for it. So it's just it
is. It's a great song.
I
gotta clarify something though too. Like I got one here actually. Whip one of these bad boys out. Well, somewhere. These posters and T-shirts I sell. It says 0 tolerance for pop country.
Yeah.
I should specify like the corn dick pop country. I'm talking about like the bro country. So pop in general, I can deal with, but when it's in mixed like the whatever on the radio pop country, it's different.
I think there's nothing really wrong with pop music.
No, there's a lot of great pop music.
There's a lot of great stuff. Prince is the king,
We always say that AC/DC's one of the best pop songwriters that exists.
Yeah. But I think like when you do the bro country, the red dirt country, where it's like specifically just like there's no real, I don't want to say artistry, but it's just like it's like it's formulaic. I think that's where pop music can, and it happens in rock, it happens in country, it happens in all genres, I think, where it's just like, I'm trying to sell a buck either, as opposed to write a good song that people will like.
Right. Yeah, they're trying to follow like this formula that will
Mhm.
get the likes and streams and the money. But
Yeah.
a lot of times, if it's a song that's everyone like it goes like viral where everyone is likes what they're saying, there's usually not a lot of substance to it. There's no conflict. It's really just vague. So everyone's like, yeah, I know what he's talking about. He's sitting on the tailgate with a beer. Like, okay, yeah, that's cool.
Do that too.
You know? But anyway, I just wanted to clarify that I'm not a hater of like pop music in general. Like, hell, a lot of the best old school country music, like 60s and 70s, was popular culture country music.
Definitely
But-
taking a lot of sounds from pop music at that time for sure,
Mhm.
like guitar wise and stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
Waylon throwing on horns and stuff in some songs. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of now that you said you wrote that more, started on the guitar acoustic wise, and it's just like to see where it's at now. Like I could only imagine hearing that on acoustic. Might have to have that like a secret side project later.
Yeah.
Comes
Totally.
out as a specialty, like 7-inch vinyl only or something.
Yeah. That's not a half bad idea. Put on the Patreon.
Yeah.
yeah.
The next pop song's gonna be out as a 7-inch in November.
Mhm.
And the B-side is this really cool track called Swingers Ball that Chris wrote a long time ago.
Long
and
time ago.
we used to play in Berlin actually. And it's both of those tracks will be on our next album.
Mhm.
But they're very like yin yang. Like it's just a whole different vibe, a little more country, a little more a lot more softer. Kind of like a melancholic song, but it's really cool. I'm excited for everyone to hear that, and it's only going to be on the 7-inch until the album comes out,
Which won't be till next year. Sometime.
So you have
Hopefully,
to
fingers crossed for spring.
buy the
Yeah.
record to listen to it, which I
And that's going to be put out. Yeah, we're
Good
shilling.
marketing.
Yeah, right. Our it's going to be put out by our good friends Watch It Burn Records here in Nashville, Tennessee. They're putting that out for us as a 7-inch, and that'll be available to buy November 10th.
Mhm.
And I was just thinking, so that's actually a segue, because 2 days later we're going to play with some friends of yours, Joshua Quimby and Liam St. John, who are playing your New Year's Eve party in Indiana.
Yeah, Dukes.
At the wonderful Dukes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Love Dukes.
Wow.
Miss Dukes. Miss Dustin.
Yeah, you gotta get back in there. It's been a minute.
No. Yeah. Can't talk too much, but we will be returning to Indianapolis next year. It is confirmed. Just can't say when or who with. But people should be really excited.
We should come play Dukes. It's been a minute. I feel like if you film a music video somewhere, you're allowed to play there forever.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know. I actually watched that video like last week with my wife. I was like, that opening scene over there by the record player is like perfect. It's so funny.
Oh, it's classic. And what I always remember about shooting that video there is that we got pushed out which was fine. We kind of got what we needed, but there was another film crew coming, and Dustin, and I guess it doesn't really matter, but Dustin basically, did us a favor by letting us film there. And these guys were like paying decent money to be there in the evening, and they show up and they have like a horse outside.
They have a horse,
and
like
we're all
a bunch
just
of
like,
bikers.
oh my god, there's
like
a horse
full production. I think they were getting like a bull riding mechanism.
and it was
definitely
Heck.
a bro country thing.
It was a DJ. It wasn't even like a band. It was this like DJ guy who throws these parties.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's popular around here, and he's actually taken that whole show on the road and done fairly well with it.
That's amazing.
Like, he's just throwing a party, mixing like 90s vibe country music, boot scooting stuff, and people
Awesome.
like it. I've never been, but I know of the guy, and my brother runs circles around him a little bit. But
oh, that's funny.
That's weird that you were filming. I don't remember exactly what was going on, but I was there when you guys were filming that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And And I didn't know that wasn't even taking place. I just happened to be showed up there, you know. So it was like, oh, this is cool.
I remember you jamming at some shows at Duke's. That's where I knew you from. I was like, I've seen this guy before. And it's like, oh, like I saw a picture of you. I think we had taken a picture together after a show. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
probably.
and then you said hi to us at Muddy Roots. And that was so cool to see you there.
Yeah, we just saw you this summer.
Yeah, that was a hell of a time. Muddy Roots is always fun.
I
had to leave early, but I saw you got blasted by Guar. You were covered in blood.
Oh, it was awesome. That was a great weekend. That was fun. Like Suicidal Tendencies, Gore. Again, like just I feel like just maybe it's just going back to the sound stuff as you asked. Just been really big on a rock kick, you know. Maybe rock's making a comeback. You know, it's been hitting the snooze button for about 20 years. I'm just gonna ignore the 2000s, you know. Like there was some decent stuff, but you know, sometimes the tone sounds like a blender.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great weekend. I was really surprised about how many great finds I found that weekend, and who are like, even with Riffs now that we're working on for third album stuff, it's just like, oh man, we gotta play faster, Elliot. We gotta play faster, heavier.
Faster, heavier. Yeah. That was a great performance, by the way. I love your guys' energy live, and people were definitely engaged. And that was an early set too.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was down there like in my flip flops, half hungover, like watching the show. You know?
Yeah.
We got a lot of texts from people that were like, "Thanks a lot. Like I listened to you while I was eating my breakfast. You guys sound great."
Yeah.
Because I think we were at like noon or how
we were the first ones. Yeah.
It's Muddy Roots is one of those unique festivals, I think, where we knew about a quarter of the people there already just from touring and the community they've built around the country, and I guess now kind of the world. But that was wild, like running into people we know from Canada and from California and from Las Vegas, and you know, it's like name a state and we might know one person who goes to Muddy Roots every year. And I don't think that says a lot about a festival that still maintains like a grassroots quality to it, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I was keeping track of like a lot of the overseas people I was talking to. Not necessarily this time around, but like previous festivals there. I don't know how many times I've been now, 5 or 6 or 5. But I remember one time I was just sitting there talking to this dude that was like from Australia. And he had the full blown accent, and he's telling me about eating kangaroos out there. He's got the flipped up hat with the overalls. It was like perfect.
Yeah.
Then I was talking to people from Canada. And then there was a whole bunch of people there from Europe, because Muddy Roots throws the Europe deal. So they flew a bunch of them out.
Yeah.
And it was just cool. And someone from Ireland. It's just an awesome blend of people, you know, coming together.
Yeah.
Very sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was blown impressed with Suicidal Tendencies. I just didn't know what to expect. And, you know, with a legacy band, I feel like you always kind of approach it as a mixed bag because, you know, 30, 40 years is a lot of time. But they blew me away. Like their energy was phenomenal. Like their message was still just as strong. I love that they didn't play their hit. It was just so it was so cool to see that example of a band that you don't get very often, you know, at their level, still doing it quite well, you know.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that.
Yeah, that is a long time to be making music, especially in that kind of genre. I mean, that's something to be said for that, for sure.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and the kids that were there, their rhythm section were killing it. The bassist is like the original bassist's son. And the drummer is like this whiz kid who's just, I don't know, one of those, like, you know, won all these drumming contests. He's insane. But yeah, anyway, that was very cool.
Yeah. We get to do like these festivals and have such a kind of cool community. Like I had my 40th birthday recently, and they roasted me. I demanded a roast because I think roasts are funny.
I demanded a roast.
My wife did a sweet thing and like was able to get all these people to send me video messages and put them on Instagram and stuff like that. And like I got reminded of like how cool it is that we are in this band because we meet people from all around the world. And I got to interact with my friends on my birthday. It was great.
Yeah.
Roasted
great.
all around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I think just kind of going back, thinking of like when we played Dukes more often, when Chris used to book for us. I do like often sort of miss those, what we kind of call like the DIY days, which don't feel like that long ago, but that was at least, three plus pre-pandemic, basically.
Yeah.
And the community that we grew there is, without them, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that's one of the biggest challenges for bands starting out right now, is that it's just harder, to get an in. It's harder to get an in at venues. I think the flip side, there's a lot more underground stuff going on, which is great, especially like all ages, like spaces for the youngins. But it's hard now. Like, we notice a lot of mid-tier venues where like the acts that are coming through are huge. Like, they should not be playing these mid-tier venues, but they have to, just to sell it out or break even or whatever. And then of course that pushes out, anyone below them. And I don't know, it's rough out there. We're going on tour in December for a week with Thelma and the Sleaze, and another great, definitively the best Southern queer rock band ever. Are just, LG is a legend in my mind. And we took a lot of our early booking strategy and just kind of like DIY strategy from her, actually. So anyway, it's all full circle, right? It's like we finally get to go on the road with her and have some fun. So but anyway, it's challenging for bands that were like us, 4 years ago, however.
Yeah, it's not, it seems like not only do you have to have some talent and bring something to the table, you kind of got to know someone too at the same time. It's like, it's rough.
Yeah, it's like, I always think of it sort of like this dark probability game. Like, the more places you can be and the best you can be doing, like, your chances just keep rising. Like, that's how we eventually met our booking agent, was just literally playing shows. Like, TM for a bigger band happened to be at one of our shows and suggest us to him. I mean, that's just, and then it's organic. So our relationship with him is quite strong, and there's a lot of trust there because he, approached us. And I don't know, it's hard, but you get out there and play as much as we have, it's like your chances are higher for sure.
Yeah. Put yourself out there as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's what I try and do. I mean, I do the same thing on a different level. Just trying to do this podcast thing is like, I really, and at the beginning, I didn't think any of it would work, but I really, I tell Sierra Farrell all the time that she was the only reason that someone actually would give me a chance or be on the show. Like, oh, Sierra was on? Okay, yeah, we'll be on. Never heard of you. We'll do it. I'm like, cool. Cool. Yeah, let's do it. So here we are, almost, I'm approaching 100 episodes here real soon. So it's just crazy.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I know it. Yeah.
Just keep those
I don't know who it's going to be yet, but it's got to be a big one, a big 100.
That's awesome.
It's going to be like,
it's funny. It's like all of our touring has certainly like shaped and pushed our sound, and we've just always been interested. Like, we're always talking about dynamics in our songs just to cover all our bases as a duo, and that leads us to be able to kind of explore different territories maybe more easily than other bands, because we're already juggling things. It's like Chris switching up his tone doesn't seem like such a leap. It's just, we're kind of used to being musical chameleons, I guess, is a better way of putting that. And it's fun to keep it fresh for us and go back to those songs. Like when we play Atlanta Dog, I see people singing along with me. It's so cool. I'm always like, Chris, we gotta play Atlanta Dog so they can sing with me. So
stand the test. When I first heard that, I was like, whoa, this is something totally new here and fresh. And I was like, I felt like I wanted to go to the rolling rink and start skating or something. You know, I had that vibe. You know,
that I think was that's really cool that you say that, because Christopher Tate from Electric Six, I think that's what kind of drew him to the song originally. It's like, it makes me feel like I'm on a roller skate, and that's what made him. So he recorded those synth parts on that recording. He's actually
Okay.
on the next album, and so is Matt Van of Electric Six. Um, uh, uh, but he was so influenced by this, like, you got to let me make a remix, and he did, with his friend Zach in Detroit, and they called it the Rollerama remix, which is pretty fun too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we Stand the Test, it will also be on our next album, and we've crafted this whole, it's a concept album, which I feel like everyone's doing right now, and I kind of love it. I'm very here for all the concept albums, but it's going to come with a graphic novel as well. And the part where Stand the Test occurs in the arc of the story is sort of this nostalgic moment. So it really makes sense in context.
Yeah.
And we just sort of lovingly released it early because we were excited, and you know, we always have new material out there. And it's great to hear that that's what it like brings up, because it's just kind of perfect for where it falls in the story, I guess I'll say.
And I guess a segue, the maybe another influence too, wasn't thinking about it, was when we were performing Stand the Test and we were releasing Stand the Test, we were also releasing a music video that had been in development for a long time by our collaborator, Patrick Pearson. He did that I Fed Animals one. I don't know if you saw that, the crazy cyberpunk fight one.
Yeah.
And it was like really getting us into like new sounds and imagery and stuff like that. That also kind of, and that's why we kind of paired that with Stand the Test and I Fed Animals. It's like, this is kind of like some a cool manga thing. And I forgot to bring up earlier, we didn't give up credit, the music video that will premiere tomorrow for Pop Song. I'm not sure when you're going to release it, but on October 27th, it'll be out by the
October
time.
28th, the music tomorrow. Oh, is tomorrow the 27th?
Tomorrow's 27th.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry, time.
27th.
Anyone listening right now, it's out.
It's out. Yeah. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Patrick Pearson, he directed the Stand the Test music video, Cashville, and I Fed Animals, and now he's done Pop Song. Sorry, I'm hijacking because I want to give Patrick full credit.
That was one of the next things I was going to ask you about, is who's in charge of doing the music video stuff, because it's brilliant work. Like, I love it.
That's Patrick Pearson of Minneapolis, Minnesota. He's a great filmmaker who lives there, and he just saw us one time play, again, just playing all the time. He saw us play.
He came to multiple shows at Mortimer's in Minneapolis, and each time he came, he kind of would be like, hey, I would love to do a music video with you guys. And we always were just sort of like, oh yeah, that'd be cool, maybe not realistic right now. And then finally one day we're like, we should actually ask him about that, like probably just like delve in. And sure enough, he felt, you know, he directs all these advertisements, like insane next level advertisements, and we're watching his demos, we're like, whoa, this is really
like BMW F1 racing craziness.
Yeah, and he also has this wonderful, like, wild imagination that really vibes with where our imagination goes. So it's just kind of like a sweet serendipitous collaboration.
And he really latched on, I think, with this next music video that will premiere, or will have premiered, Pop Song, because we got together with him and our great friend Dr. Swack, who's a fashion designer in Minneapolis, and she took her newest line, Dr. Love, named after Kiss, coincidentally, and we all combined forces and made this new music video. So she has her whole line with all these awesome fashion models exhibiting her work, and then Patrick is filming us with the models. We intentionally, for the first time, sort of dressed down. So there
was a drone involved. It's insane. And I just love, like, it's so ridiculous to have this rock band with models, but also it's so fun. It's just like, why not? Like, it's one of those opportunities where we were like, sure.
Definitely trying to bring like that 90s like Guns N' Roses level like epicness to the music video, which I feel like, I guess with the modern era of streaming and YouTube and things like that, you don't really get as much. So you gotta, when you make a music video, and I think that's why we're so lucky to have Patrick, you want to make it an event.
Chris is gonna have his like training course. I feel like you're giving like tutorial stuff for bands.
Yeah. Second rule, right? That's the music video thing from MTV. You can't have more than 3 seconds on any shot.
No, it's really cool. We're super proud of it. And yeah, we just feel so lucky to, once again, playing shows is how we met Patrick, just doing what we do. It's like that's how most of the things in the Volk world have come to be.
Yeah.
And it's what we love, right? It's like, I think as much as I love recording, I could totally be a studio rat, but there's nothing like that energy that you get from the audience. And really, like at the end of the show at the merch table, like feeling that energy that you've put out in their body, like that connection's been made, that's priceless. I don't know anywhere else where I could get that. And to know whether it's joy, just any kind of catharsis that you've been a part of for them, like that helps me sleep at night, when the world seems so effed up and hard. Like that helps me sleep at night, knowing that I can bring that into people's lives.
Yeah, that's really what love song's about. It's just like reminding people, hey, even in tough times, we still have each other. We can still hold on to each other and bring light to the world and things like that. So trying to heal the world. We don't. What was that thing with Michael Jackson and Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen? Remember the name of that? It was in the 80s, a long time ago.
I have to look it up. I don't know.
World? No.
I love it because with the, it's funny, like going back to the music, like with the intro, our friend Joshua Fleming is such a great, of Vandaliers, such a great screamer. And he happened to stop by the studio when we were tracking that song. And John, who's done a lot of work with Vandaliers, John Pedigo, he engineered and co-produced this next album with us. We were all just like, man, Josh, you gotta give us a scream. Like that's just what the moment needs. And it's so fun because I scream live, like not like that, but I give it my, a good,
it's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good.
Yeah. But it's such a immediate like heavy metal vibe, like hair metal, and I just love hearing that response from everyone. They're like, whoa, like this is like metal, and then it it goes more into like Volk mode, right? But I just love that it catches everyone off guard in like the best way. Just so fun.
And I like for John Pedigo, if people are wondering, he records and produces Joshua Ray Walker, and he's worked with old 97s. He's great, and he's of a great band called 40 Acre Mule. You should totally have on sometime.
I'll have to look him up. I don't know. I love Joshua Ray. He's amazing.
Oh my God, he's just
breaking your heart like 9 times.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's been exciting watching him rise. And John writes a lot with Joshua too, and he's got his own Pedigo's Magic Pilsner. That's his own like solo band.
We got to hang out with him at the Texas State Fair a couple of weeks ago because he was doing some shows there. It was hilarious. It was fun.
We were driving through Dallas. Yeah, he was playing by himself.
Yeah,
it was great. The Texas State Fair is insane. Just everything you could imagine fried. They had fried pho. I don't even know how that exists, but they had it.
It was fried what?
Pho. Like the Vietnamese, they had it fried. How did you even do that?
Fried gumbo.
Those were
I'll
good.
eat it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing like this list of like, this is a few years old, so I'm sure it's probably changed, but they had a list of the top state fairs. And number 1 was Iowa, because they have such a huge like 4-H program and FFA and all that. I mean, it's like so much ag going on at theirs. And then number 2 was actually Kentucky. So I plan on going to it just because it's so close. Like, why not see why is that number 2? What's going on down there?
Where in Kentucky? In is it Lexington?
No, it's actually in Louisville.
Wow.
So it's only like an hour and a half for me. I should at least
right.
go check
Gotta
it out.
go. You
And I
gotta
don't
go.
think you have a time change. I think Kentucky's.
Louisville is East Coast.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is.
I don't think all of Kentucky's
Oh,
East
they're like
Coast.
Tennessee. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just wild. Anyway, Chris and I, when we first started playing Indiana and Kentucky, we were late to almost all of our gigs. It took us a couple months to figure it out.
Mhm.
Every time we would just be
We
like,
got plenty of time.
damn it, you're an hour late again.
Or Asheville, or no, or just freaking just Knoxville or Chattanooga. It's like, dang it.
Is Chattanooga East Coast
I'm
too?
pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. That's just
Makes no sense.
it's rough out there.
Yeah,
It's rough out there.
So that's some touring advice,
Yeah.
Get sort of watch that tells you multiple times.
It's just like literally exactly where we are. Like even Detroit being on East Coast time sometimes like weirds me out. But that makes more sense than all these other places.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Boring history stuff if we wanted to get in that on a music podcast.
Hey, that's what this podcast is about. I like to hang out, just chill, everyone chime in, and people can just, not have to. I'm not putting on a suit and tie and being like, what's this new record coming out? It's just not how I work. But speaking of which, how many tracks are on the record, the new record?
I think it's 11.
I think it's 11.
Yeah.
11?
And when there's special guests we will not name. But too cool for words. So you guys got to get excited. And Chris Tate and Matt Van are all over it making weird noises.
Yeah, we really like Chris Tate, and I mean we just respect the shit out of all his incredible synth work with Electric Six, and he's sort of transitioning a little bit from being on the road to being at home. He just had a kid, and it was kind of the perfect storm, perfect timing for him to collaborate with us in this next album. And it's really, his work's really tasteful, and I am excited for everyone to hear this kind of like next level of Volk. We are definitely considering possibly adding a third member, but we'll see.
Oh,
times are hard. Yeah,
times are hard, and we would have to upgrade to a bigger van. We'd have to retire the Kia Sedona.
that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
What would the new member be playing instrument wise?
It would definitely be keys for sure.
Synth key.
Chris has said that if we ever hire a bassist, he can't play his parts, because Chris is kind of like orchestrated his parts just right so that he is still covering the bass stuff. And in fact, we found this out because when we were on the road with Super Suckers, halfway through tour, Eddie, I think, if I'm being very honest, out of complete boredom, just like with a wireless, because he plays his bass with a wireless, completely surprised us in Houston and started playing with us. And at first he was off stage. Yeah, he was playing pop song with us because he loved it so much. And Chris was just like, for the first minute, was like, that sound is not me. Where is that sound coming from? And Eddie was just standing behind him with his black cowboy hat, just like playing along.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
And then I think after that night, we were like, okay, Eddie, you can play with us, but you've got to learn how the songs go.
He does the same things to Electric Six, apparently, though, too. Yeah.
It's super fun.
And if anybody's wondering, Electric Six, if you're not familiar, I Want to Take You to a Gay Bar, or Danger, High Voltage, that band.
So good.
Yeah.
Everybody comes into a little Electric Six.
And Super Suckers and Delta Bombers.
Yeah.
Goddamn Gallows.
Talk about prolific too. Eddie's got some great stories, man. He's
about Lemmy, about hanging out with Lemmy. It's pretty dope.
Well, they opened for Motorhead in the 90s, like multiple times. And he's gonna give us hell for saying this, but eventually. But the first story we ever heard about Motorhead involved like Eddie hanging out backstage with Lemmy and drugs. Oh, that's all I'll say.
and drugs.
And drugs.
Because Motorhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And rock and roll.
And rock and roll. And the
80s,
90s,
70s,
yeah.
80s, 60s, 70s, 80s,
Sex,
90s.
drugs, and rock and roll.
Right?
Yeah, and while Super Suckers were on the road with Motorhead opening, Nashville Pussy was also with them. And like a month or two ago, we happened to run in
To Ryder.
from Nashville
It's
Pussy.
an amazing guitar player.
And we were telling this story to her, and she was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Let Super Suckers backstage for the entire tour."
Eddie still got streak, because like if you go on YouTube now, you can watch them as the backing band for Willie Nelson when they were on the Tonight Show.
Eddie's incredible. It's
And
no shade. It was just hilarious. It's like everyone's got their own side of the story. I think Ryder was just like, he didn't let them back till the end of tour or something like that. Cool. And it was like, it's just funny how that all works.
But yeah, they've done full albums with Steve Earle, I believe, as well. So like they're like, like in that cowpunk, like I kind of like where Super Suckers are, because they have full on country albums. Jesse Dayton produced one and has a lot of great songs.
Yeah.
And they toe that line, so like,
right.
Again, talking about bands who've just like hardcore influenced us lately.
It's really interesting how much like, Super Suckers, Eddie originally was from Tucson, Arizona. And I always think about Meat Puppets from Phoenix. Or started in Phoenix, at least. Also, like when they began, this cat loves us.
Yes.
Chris has 3 cats, so it's only fair.
Yeah.
Dude, we have 5.
Oh wow.
And they're all just showed up, and they're all black. Something spooky going on around here.
Well, this is great for Halloween. This is
great
That's
branding.
awesome.
Great branding.
Yeah.
But no, just it's interesting, like the history of cowpunk really in Southwest like the United States, right? It's like you've got X in LA, you've got Meat Puppets, like early Meat Puppets is definitely considered has elements of cowpunk, and then like earlier like Super Suckers for sure has elements of cowpunk too. I just find that fascinating when geography plays a role, in certain subgenres existing.
Yeah, definitely.
And like Muddy Roots alum Bob Wayne, I learned recently, was originally from Washington and started playing or was obsessed with music because of Eddie Spaghetti. We were hanging out with him a couple weeks ago, and he was explaining that. So it's kind of cool how everything intersects.
Yeah, I talked to Bob. He's supposed to be on the show here at some point. We haven't set up a date, but
yeah, he's great. We did his show. He's hilarious. He's awesome. My Muddy Roots experience for him playing, because I had never got to see him before, was amazing, because we played the show in the middle of the day, and you see all the nonsense I wear. That's not the most breathable nonsense to wear on stage at 12 o'clock in the Tennessee heat.
Yeah, that's hot.
I was like being fed, like I basically had an IV of Gatorade. My wife was just like helping me so much, and then immediately somebody, I know who it was, handed me some fun things. I believe they call it the flesh of the gods.
Mushrooms.
And so I'm chilling out on the woods near the wood stage, but you know how like at Muddy the hill kind of goes down, and you kind of at one point you can kind of just chill. So I was sitting there with my wife, chilling on the side of the hill, tripping to Bob Wayne, and it's like, this is awesome. I think every single song is about trucks, and I think there's like a huge, awesome, amazing message here. And I was like just having really deep thoughts, and I never thought about transportation so much. And I was like, because I love the book Dune, and that's all about just Frank Herbert's tripping on mushrooms. So I got way too deep with it, and I don't think Bob was like, "Nah, man, it's just songs about trucks."
You went all in.
Yeah, but all in, man. Yeah, we were talking about how much we enjoyed it, because we were also like on other sides, I think, of the stage watching a heavy temple play. It was just like, yeah, that was a great time. It was a great time. Yeah, I did my first mosh pit at Gore. I'd never done a mosh pit before.
Oh, really?
No, I know I'm a big guy, but it's just like I don't like to feel pain. So, like,
normally not. Usually it's pretty friendly.
Yeah, no one like just straight up.
You fall, you get picked up, sort of thing. Yeah, you might catch an elbow, but it's not like. that bad.
If it's a green jelly mosh pit, it might get a little violent, but
Well,
the gore
you're
one and the
also-
Muddy Roots one was very healthy one. It felt like.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
felt-
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I used to do when I was in my younger days. Was just be in a mosh pit. I'd go to hardcore shows, and that's when it starts getting pretty violent. The full on blatant like fist to the face on purpose sort of stuff. It's like, all right, this is not. Don't take it out on me. That's all I can say.
My healthcare isn't going to cover that, man. So
Yeah. So we don't have a full date. We just know it's in 2024 for the release.
Mhm.
Okay.
Lots of shows, though. Tons of shows. We haven't announced any, but folks should expect to see us at the beginning of the year. Possibly
Let's just say your
not
wife's
in
gonna
America.
we can't talk
possibly
at
in
the same
spring.
time. Let's just
Okay.
say your wife's gonna be she's gonna miss you a lot for the spring.
Yeah.
Okay. Spring.
We're gonna be busy.
Yeah, but for the rest of the year, people should definitely come to those. It's primarily in Texas and the Southeast with Thelma. Beyond Words, we did just book 3 gigs. I don't know if we're allowed to, but a very awesome classic.
They haven't been
80s
announced
band.
yet. Yeah.
But look on
Lots
the
of cool
websites.
things coming. Yeah.
Okay. Basically, everyone just needs to follow you guys on social media and to keep on track with what's going down.
Yeah.
And yeah, November 12th with your boys, Liam St. John and Joshua Quimby.
Yeah.
On
That'll be a good show. That's a great lineup with all you guys together.
very
It's gonna be
excited.
fun.
It's a good like variety of music mix, but it all connects. Yeah, that'd be. Yeah, Liam was here not that long ago, like a month or so, and
Cool.
just solo. And I think at this show that he's coming, that I got him booked for the New Year's, will be full band, so it'll be totally different.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I appreciate you guys being on. This has been great chatting with you, catching up. It's been a minute.
Appreciate you. Yeah, we'll make sure not to let it go for so long next time.
We need to. I think we should book, and you'd be perfect for it because I know you guys like doing things a little different than what most people try to do. But I think we should book a show in the middle of a skating ring.
I'm into that.
Let's set up a show because there's this old one down here, and I know you can rent the place for like $250 or something.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, let's just throw a show there.
Let's do
Okay.
it. That sounds great.
Film it, do something, get the crazy lights going in there.
Sold. Absolutely.
We're in.
Thanks for having us, Justin.
Thank you. This is awesome.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Make sure you keep up with Volk, like I said, on all the social media. If you could, like, share, subscribe, do all that crazy stuff, help the channel grow. And if you'd like, throw us a couple bones in the donation box there. Keep it going. So. All right. I'll talk to you guys later, and thanks again.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.